Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Matt the Lawn Care Little Guy, and today I'm finally dropping that results video to see who won those Cujo X1 boots and the $50 spending card. So I am going to make you wait. I got a little topic because on Instagram I got 2 questions, and I'm going to let you know what those questions are and what my answers are. So a little bit of a Q&A, so stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so excellent. So I do know who won the Cujo X1 boots, size 9.5, and the $50 gift card, and I'm really excited to announce that. But first, let's get to these questions, okay? Because I don't get a whole lot of questions, believe it or not. It's probably because my business model doesn't suit kind of everybody. I mean, everybody has their own goals, and I've been pretty open about my goals and that I'm achieving them, and that's how I kind of measure success. But so this is really special to me, that the couple questions that I got. The first one's from Jeff, and he actually asked me kind of directly because he's thinking about a side hustle. He works at a church. I think he's on pastoral staff, and he's looking for a side hustle to make some extra income. And the essence of his question was basically, can you really make money mowing lawns, and if so, how much? And I'm open. I kind of disclosed my numbers to him a little bit, and I think he's going to press forward with it. But it's an excellent question. Can you really make money mowing lawns? And the answer to that is yes and no. Alrighty guys, I'm actually back in my office, which is my closet / office, and I had to kind of switch the venue because I had to re-record this portion of the video. So the question was can you really make money mowing lawns? And the answer to that is yes and no, right? I'll start with the no. The no is because there's a lot of reasons why you may not make good money mowing lawns. Probably the number one reason is you're not charging enough, which is a bad business decision. The number 2 is you're not able to work enough because, you know, if you're like me, I mean, I'm almost 45 years old now, and I'm getting slower every single year. So if you can't take the heat or, you know, the physical aspects of the job, then, you know, mowing lawns is going to be very, very difficult to be profitable because it is a production-based service kind of industry. So there's a number of reasons why businesses get into it and then they fail or they don't make money. The other thing is expenses. If you are making money, but you're spending too much money, right? And you don't have enough work and you're not getting enough work to cover your expenses, then you're going to have a very low bottom line. And I think that happens a lot with folks, and I don't want to ever make that mistake. So for me, kind of the way I do it, and actually the first example that I ever had, which this is kind of a poor example, because the numbers are low, but just take it for what it is. It's low, so just know that the numbers will actually be higher and be encouraged by that. But just for easy numbers' sake, let's just say it takes you 30 minutes to mow an average lawn for your business, for your area. Okay, 30 minutes to mow that lawn, and you're charging $25. I realize that's low, but just know that that you can probably, there's more potential in that. And for this reason, and for this example, it works, okay? So $25 a lawn, and it takes you half an hour. So for 2 hours, you're making $50, or for 1 hour, you're making $50. $50 an hour before expenses. Now the industry target, I think, is about $60 an hour for mowing, so that's $1 per minute. But set that aside for now. Just for easy numbers, $25. 30 minutes, so you're $50 an hour. So if you work 4 hours as a side hustle, you get off work, and then you go and you mow, right, for 4 hours, then you have made $200 that day. That's pretty good for most people, especially for only 4 hours of work. I know, I think I make a little bit more than that now at my full-time job, but there was a time where I could count on about $150 a day at my full-time job, and that was considered good money. So if you could actually on the low side, make $200 for 4 hours, and you worked a full day. Let's just say you're not going to do this as a side hustle, but you're going to do this as a full day. You have 8 hours, then you have $400 a day. So you multiply that 4 by 5, and that's $900 a week before expenses and taxes, obviously. So it's $1,800 every 2 weeks. So, or is that $1,800? Yeah, it's $1,800 every 2 weeks full-time, $900 part-time. Okay, that's pretty good money, I think. So now let's talk about those things that I said that are going to keep you from making money. And the number one thing probably is the expenses. If you're spending too much money, that's going to cut into your bottom line, right? So if you're making $900 but you're spending $500, then you're only making $400, right? And then you have taxes that come into that. And mowing lawns is not easy, right? So if you're going to go out there and you're going to hustle like that, is it really worth it? I don't know. Probably not. So it'd be in at least it's in my interest to keep my expenses as low as possible while still having a deduction. So what's my magic number? My magic number is right around 25%. 20 to 25% is where I try to keep my expenses. I feel like that's a great line between providing the business with the things that it needs as a solo operation while still having a positive bottom line. So now let's just kind of switch gears, right? Okay, let's just say that I'm making $500 a day. Okay, $500 a day. That's not too far off from the original example. Or, what, for Pete's sake, let's just go with the original example, right? 4 hours a day as a side hustle, making $50 an hour. So it's $200 a day. All right. I automatically take out 25% of that. So 25% of that would be $50. So now you're down to $150 a day, and then you got to pay taxes on that. My tax bracket is about 12%. It might be different for you and it depends on how you set your business up. There's all kinds of variables, but I'm just trying to give a practical short example about this. But basically, yes, it's not hard to replace an average to lower income. So I kind of wonder why people are going to work for fast food, or why people are going to work in retail for, let's just call it, roughly $7 to, $10, $13, $14 an hour. I think Target pays like $15 an hour, right? When you can actually, make, let's just take it down to an hour, right? 25% of 25, well, 10% would be $2.50, right? So let's just call it $3. I don't know. 25% would be $3 out of that 25. So you're at $20, $21.50, right? I know I'm getting complicated. It's just me. It's the little guy. $21.50, and then you pay taxes on that, another 12%. So you're down to what, $19 an hour, right? $19 an hour after taxes and expenses. So why would you go work for McDonald's making $7.25? I'm in Oklahoma. That's what the minimum wage is. When you can actually just go mow some lawns, and make $19 an hour, But that's not the limit, because this is on the low side. Remember that, guys? This is on the low side. So you can actually increase that, and it depends on a lot of things. The next question we talk about is actually going to talk more about, how much should you charge for a lawn? But can you make money? Yeah, and the math is actually pretty simple. But what matters most is do you have the ability to put the work in, and can you manage your expenses and charge appropriately to where you have a positive bottom line? And that's really all it is, guys. And it's actually pretty simple stuff, just simple math. And you can figure out your own way to figure all that out. I'm kind of that point now to where I know if I hang out around a certain amount of accounts, then I know that I can take care of those accounts and I'm going to have a positive bottom line. I just know that. And I try to keep my expenses at a certain level. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take my income, my expenses, and I'll figure out what that percentage is to see where I'm at. And just, and that's how I know when I can spend money. That's how I know when I can't spend money. But I'm not known for being a bookkeeper. But this is a side hustle, right? Side hustle. So it doesn't require the same kind of management as long as you report positively, or report accurately, I should say. So anyways, I think that pretty well beats that horse to death. I didn't even get into all kinds of ways like how you can actually make money. It's just a really simple example of, can you make money mowing lawns? And the answer is absolutely you can. And if you're trying to just supplement income, or if you're trying to just replace a minimal income, like a minimum wage type of job, or just barely above that, right, like that $10 to $15 an hour range, it is not difficult at all to replace that income just mowing lawns. Yeah, I've done it pretty well, and I never thought in a million years that I would be making the money that I'm making mowing lawns, but I am. I'm I'm achieving my goals, and I could even be making more if I was a better business person or if I had the time to invest in thinking about that. So anyways, Jeff, I hope that kind of answers your question to some degree. I'm totally open to more questions. Please just put them in the comments below. And if you want any more explanation, any specific questions, I will definitely answer those for anybody that wants to put them out there. Even if you want to be like, Matt, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'd be like, you're absolutely right. But I think it's pretty simple. I'm a simple man, and I know at the end of the year, I am claiming a positive number. So the answer is yes, you can make it, and it's not that hard. So let's move on to the next question. The second question I got from a guy named Rolando, and he was wondering, and Rolando's in Texas, and he's a kind of a startup, and his question was, how much would you charge for just a front yard if it was a regular yard? And this is actually a question that comes up a lot, not necessarily for just a front yard, but just how much would you charge for a regular lawn? And the first thing I told him was, well, you have to kind of figure out what regular means, because when you say regular to me, I get one picture of what a regular lawn looks like. But if you were to ask, say, Ben from Acme Mowing what a regular lawn looks like to him, he's probably going to tell you something completely different. So it's really, really difficult to give a clear answer when you have a vague term like a regular lawn. So, I mean, regular could also mean like frequency. I know that's not what he meant, but that's what it could mean. And sometimes people have different rates depending on whether it's weekly or biweekly. The other thing about it is the complexity of the lawn. It's hard to answer that question straightforward if you don't know the complexity of the lawn. Now, typically your front lawns are going to be a little bit more simple than the back lawns. Most people put most of their landscaping in the backyard, but the front yards can get a little bit complex. So what do I mean by complex? Well, how long is the driveway? How much trimming? Do they have flower beds in there? Is it a fast-growing lawn in that it really probably needs to be cut more than once a week, or at least once a week versus every 2 weeks, right? Does it have trees? Because again, what's a regular lawn? Is it like a half-acre lot? With 0.15 of it being the front yard or something, or is it like most of the acreage is on the front yard? I don't know. But you got to kind of take this little equation and figure out what it is for you. Now, there is one thing I would suggest, especially in terms of doing just the front yard or just the backyard type of thing, is I think it's important, and I've got a minimum. My minimum now is $40. Partly that's economic reasons, because things are getting much more expensive, if you guys haven't noticed, but then also because my goals have changed and I need to figure out a different plan, a different way of charging to where I can increase my profitability, and I decided to do a price increase on all my new customers. So my minimum is $40. So for me, if it's a regular lawn for me, whether I do just the front or whether I do the front and the back, you're still going to get charged $40 no matter what. So that's something that I would suggest. And I'll tell you this too, I've done just front yards before, and it takes me almost as much time, believe it or not, almost as much time to do just the front yard, just because I had to go to that location, stop, and unload my equipment. I still got to go back to the trailer, unload my equipment. I still got to do everything I'm supposed to do. And believe it or not, the mowing is actually the easiest part about it. But there's trimming and edging and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, I guess the bottom line, Rolando, or to anyone who has this question, is I'm not sure. You just have to think of an equation and determine whether or not, or how much it's going to take for you to do that job, okay? And oh gosh, what was the other thing that I had said? Oh, time. How long will it take you to do it? Because if you're on par with what I believe is par for the mowing industry, if it takes you should be earning about $1 a minute. So if it takes you 45 minutes, it should be $45. If it takes you 15 minutes, it should still be about your minimum, unless your minimum is $15. But I don't recommend that. So I don't know if that gives you too much of an idea or whatnot, but I hope that does answer some questions out there. For anybody else that's watching, I hope you enjoyed hearing these questions, hearing my answer to it. And if you got any questions, feel free to just drop them in the comments below, and I will do my best, because I would love to put out some more videos, some easier videos where like these Q&A type of things, and I can offer you a perspective, at least from a little guy's perspective. So thank you guys so much for watching, especially for sticking with me for 10 minutes. But if you guys are ready, then I am definitely ready to let you guys know who won the 1,000 subscriber drawing for the Cujo X1 boots and the $50 spending card. So if I could have a drum roll, I'd like you to do that in your head. I'll do it the best I can. Every time I do that, it's terrible. But I had lots of entries, and the one that came out on top was Choppin' Blades Lawn Care. So congratulations, Choppin' Blades Lawn Care. I'm going to be making a contact with you and letting you know that you won and where I can send these your prize to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed already, I appreciate the subscription. And check out all my other videos. I would love to get my watch time up so I can start returning some of this. Well, once I start getting monetized, I'd like to return as much of that as possible. All of it is my hope to everyone who is supporting me. So thank you guys. And as always, pray for me. You know I'm praying for you. And we will see you next time.